Hey guys, welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Mark. I'm a certified health coach, and this is Teresa. She's a board certified family nurse practitioner. We're with Total Health and Wellness. We like to talk about hormones, metabolic health, and everything in between. So tonight we wanted to talk a little bit about metabolic health and metabolic fitness, really just kind of a recap on things. We had a couple of other thoughts we wanted to share with you. But first, I'm going to show you really quick what we're having for dinner tonight. So nothing new here.
Shocking.
Yeah, so we've got burgers, maybe a little bit different in that you guys can see some green on my plate. So we've got our burgers set. These are 85% lean burgers we got from Harder House, a local butcher, and then they're sitting on lettuce. And then we bought some organic heirloom tomatoes from a roadside stand, and then we've also got a little bit of onion and pickle on those. And then Teresa made her pizza chips, so they're pepperoni and provolone cheese chips. And then we've got scrambled eggs. So nothing surprising there. All right, so metabolic health and metabolic fitness. So there's kind of a, what do you want to call it, like a hierarchy of importance with regards to how we prioritize things that we do in our life for health. And we talk about this quite a bit. So sleep is for us is at the core root of that. If you don't get a good night's sleep, nothing else really matters. You can't make up for that the next day. So that's really important. And then of course the way you eat is really important too. So as you know, we like to talk about a low insulin way of eating or low carb, keto, carnivore. And then we also wanted to talk about the fitness component. And that's what we really were talking about. Teresa and I were just chatting about this a little bit ago. And okay, bear with us, those of you who are on YouTube, because our Facebook video is trying to reconnect. Looks like it's reconnected.
Sluggish.
A little bit sluggish. Okay, so sorry about that. Where was I? We were talking about the fitness side of things. So Teresa and I went to the gym today, and as you age and you go through the different seasons in your lifetime, there's different reasons why you want to go and achieve physical fitness. And so when you're younger, you're typically going because you want to have a nice body, you want to look good for when you go out, you go to the beach or you go to social events. As you age, you get a little bit more towards your middle ages. You may want to do it as more of just a social thing. A lot of folks will like to go to the gym just because they want to, they want to visit with people, especially if you're into group workouts or those types of situations. And then as you get older, really the point comes, you come to a point where you're like, okay, I want to stay out of the hospital. I don't want to be sick. And so as you get older, Teresa had talked about this. She talks about this several times. As you get older, you begin to lose muscle mass. And you had mentioned before that we had read some studies where you can lose up to what was it, 8% per decade. About every 10 years, from the time you turn 50, you could lose about 8%. But it's actually worse than that. I was just reading a study yesterday or the day before, and it was actually saying you can lose between 1 and 2% per decade. So you could lose anywhere from 10 to 20% of your lean body mass in 10 years, which is significant. Okay. The reason it's significant is because when we talk about lean mass and we talk about muscle mass, and where it applies or how it applies to metabolic health and metabolic fitness, the reason we do that is because muscle burns a ton of calories. And so about every pound of body weight that you have on your body burns about 20 calories every 24 hours just to maintain that muscle. So there's something called resting metabolic rate or basal metabolic rate, and that's the number of calories your body needs to keep you alive and how many calories it burns every 24 hours to do that. So our goal is, as we age, is to, if we can increase that, great, and putting on more lean muscle. But if we can at least maintain it and not lose that 10 to 20% per year, we're doing really good.
Yeah.
So what did you want to add to that?
I think my 8% every decade started at 30, but you're talking about after 50, and it makes sense that it would ramp up. When I was in nursing school in like 1990, not nursing school, but taking anatomy and physiology, trying to get into nursing school, it was 1989, 1990, 91. You only learned NIDDM, non-insulin dependent diabetes mellitus. You only learned that as it was associated with like 60 and above. So it was only the elderly people. And it makes sense because that's when our muscle mass depletes. And so then you naturally become insulin resistant. If you don't have muscle, you have fat. Now everybody has diabetes. You're at 20. I'm not talking about type 1. I'm talking about lifestyle induced diabetes, which is type 2. 9-year-olds have it on all the way up until elderly. So
yeah. Well, the specific workout we talk about, which is the SMART workout, the time under tension workout, and whatnot, that's a high intensity form of resistance training. When you do high intensity training, it doesn't matter if you're insulin resistant or not. When you're doing that, your body requires, it's a glycolytic state. In other words, it's a sugar burning state. So your body will convert fat to sugar if it needs to, but that's beside the point. The point is that you can, even if you're insulin resistant, your receptors are resistant to insulin and sugar entering into them. When you're doing high intensity workout, your muscles require the insulin and the sugar to move into the receptors. And so your receptors open up wide and you literally turn yourself from insulin resistant to insulin sensitive while you're doing those workouts. It's incredibly powerful what the state you can put your body in when you're doing this high intensity training.
Yeah. And so this morning I shared one last time from 2020, me in our garage in 2020 doing the smart training workout. Now we have the bands on here and we have Mark at the Gym on machines on here. That one's going away because all live videos are going away in the next 3 days. Anything you've ever curated in your whole entire life on our business page is going away
on the Facebook
because it's just their new storage policy. So
we're going to do some more workouts and we're going to upload them to YouTube and then we'll share them from YouTube to Facebook. That way you guys will have access to those.
Yeah.
But just a quick recap too on the smart workout or the time under tension workout. It's a really basic workout, and the principle is to do to do the exercises as slowly as possible until you reach muscle failure. And you don't count repetitions. You simply go through the movements until you reach muscle failure, and that failure needs to occur between 30 and 90 seconds. So and then you just move through each muscle group of your body. One set. So you can do all your major muscles in about 15 to 20 minutes using this workout. It's incredibly low impact because of the slow movements. So you don't have to worry about injuries. Children can do this workout safely. Elderly people with different bone health issues, which we need to talk a little bit just to recap about bone health too here. So if you have osteopenia, osteoporosis, it's relatively safe for those types of people who are immobile. And then it's also great from the standpoint of how quick it is. So if you have a really short lunch break and you need to do your workout on your lunch break, or you only have a few minutes in the evening or afternoon to do it, it's great for that. So people who are professionals, the busy professionals, we've got truck drivers who do it. They can actually work out using the cable system in their cabs of their trucks. Flight attendants stick them in their suitcase. You can take them with you when you travel. Busy business executive doing them in their office, during their lunch break. All the above. I mean, it takes most of the excuses away from not doing this workout. And I didn't mention that workout is only twice a week.
Yeah.
So 15 to 20 minutes twice a week. Now you can't be lazy about it. You got to go in there and really work up a sweat and really hit it hard when you're doing it. But I mean, everybody can do that for 15 minutes, right?
I literally counted my reps today. And so I pretty much get 1 minute, I can get 3 reps. That's it.
Yeah.
And I always feel like, oh gosh, is someone going to come run over and go, do you need help? Like, let me spot you.
Yes.
Because you're going so slow, it looks like. And then I see other people doing things real fast, and you can lift heavy weight fast, but it's hard to lift it slow.
Yeah. And just piggybacking on our last video from, I don't know, last week or a few days ago, we talked about bone health and the importance of that. So resistance training and also doing things like wearing weighted vests and whatnot, putting a load on yourself when you go for a walk by adding extra weight, those are incredibly effective at strengthening and thickening your bones and increasing your bone density, which are also is majorly important as you get older because of what we mentioned before with the osteoporosis and osteopenia. What happens to older folks when they get weak? They tend to fall. And so when they fall, what do? They break their hip or they break another bone in their body. And then sometimes that's disastrous for these people.
Yeah.
So you can actually prevent that. And resistance training really helps you prevent both of those things from happening.
And low estrogen affects balance. So that's why, it's elderly women, and then it's mostly women with osteoporosis. But you need to see if when you're getting up out of your chair at work, the dinner table, the couch, the car, are you able to do that without pushing with your hands? Are you able to just use your thigh muscles, your quadriceps, to be able to do that? Are you able to step into like an SUV on a running board? Are you able to just step in and get in? Or, is it really a struggle? That is a quick, crude way just to make sure that you have some muscle mass in those large muscles to keep you going.
Yeah, and for a more advanced person who maybe hasn't have issues with being incredibly weak, but being able to run a sprint is a fantastic. A couple of proxies for how physically fit you are is able to run a sprint pretty fast for your age. If you can do a single pull-up on your own, if you can do a single push-up, there's a lot of people who can't do that. Sure, I mean, as we get advanced in age, you can't. So
it doesn't have to be that way, though.
It doesn't have to be. Yeah, that's the point. So.
And go ahead.
No, go.
Last time we forgot to plug LowCarb USA. San Diego's coming up in
Yes.
August. So go on there, buy your ticket, Low Carb San Diego. It's actually in Coronado, but right across the bay this time.
Yeah.
You can also watch virtually. You could buy a ticket for virtual, but you guys will learn so much.
Yeah, and even if you buy a virtual ticket, there's still a question and answer section on there. So, when the speakers are up there at the end after they're done with their presentation, each speaker has an allotted amount of time to answer questions. And so people will stand up in the audience, they'll ask questions, and then they'll also allow online questions. They'll read those out loud for you guys and get your questions answered. So it's fantastic, guys. I can't say enough. And that you're supporting fantastic people too,
people that are really trying to step out and say, no, we are unhappy with the status quo. We're making people sick. And it takes a lot of gumption.
It does. And it used to be just when we go to these conferences, I've said this before, it used to be just people like just lay people who were going there and attending these conferences and learning for themselves. But now it's probably, 70-75% providers are going there now. So you got all these providers that are going and they're trying to learn the science of low carb, and they're trying to learn how they can motivate people to do this. They're trying to learn how they can navigate the Western medical system and incorporate low carb into a completely hostile towards low carb model of medicine, which is sad, but it's true. And keep people from taking 10 medications. If they're on medications, helping them deprescribe from those medications. I mean, it's profound what you can do.
We were just talking with our neighbors, and I'm pretty sure he's 59. And he was saying how he had to go to the doctor, and the nurse kept saying, what meds are you on? And he's like, well, I'm not on any meds. And she just kept at it. And finally she's like, do you know how strange this is and rare that you are not on one medicine? So their method of treatment is pills. And so pills don't make you healthy. Just taking an injection does not make you healthy. You have to do that. That's up to you. But if you're in there by the time you're 40, especially women starting with perimenopause, you're going to be on 4 or 5 meds right off the bat.
Yeah, for sure. Stay out of the hospital, stay out of the doctor's office, stay off the operating table. Take care of yourselves. You guys can do it. You just have to enable yourself. Your body were created divinely perfect in order to maintain your own. There's exceptions to the rule, of course. There's people who are sick. There's people who have disease. But for most of us, we just have to learn to unlock the potential that our bodies contain and actually make them do what they were made to do to begin with.
But corporate medicine, so that's what I trained in, corporate medicine. I went to nurse practitioner school. I went to nursing school. You are not trained to find out what's wrong with your body. You're trained if you have what illness and then what pill goes with it. That's it. So when you're letting these providers tell you about nutrition and hormones, because that's what I deal with every single day, they never learned it. And for them to give you opinions on it is, I don't know what the word is.
Well, we did a video on this just also a week ago or so, as we talked about upstream versus downstream medicine. Upstream is where the core root of the problem is. That's where the disease process is beginning. That's where you make the lifestyle changes that you need to make in order to reverse that problem. Western medicine is downstream medicine. It's way down here. It's treating the ultimate result or the ultimate symptom of the problem that you have up here. And that's all it's doing. And many times they start a whole new problem up here all over again. It's completely separate from when you start taking medications.
It's usually due to the medicine that you just started.
Right. Dr. Brian Lenskis did a fantastic one. He did a fantastic speech or talk a couple of years ago at LowCarb USA on this specifically. He walked somebody through a case study of this person who was relatively healthy, and as they went to their doctor, they kept putting them on more meds and more meds. The medication that they took for this caused them to have another issue, so they put him on another medication. He walked, and by the time they were done,
I think it was somebody that had been like in a motor vehicle accident, and then you start on pain pills, and that causes constipation, and then that causes. So then by the time you're all said and done, it was 8 or 9 pills.
It was crazy. Yeah, absolutely. But he's one of those folks that will be talking at Low Carb San Diego. So,
and we've done lives with him, which is going to be erased.
Yeah. So talking about the smart workout, talking about Low Carb USA, all that stuff is in the description on YouTube, and it's also going to be in the comments on Facebook. So make sure after we get this video done, you guys check out those comments. And, if you guys have any ideas for us as far as content that you'd like us to chat about, please share that with us. It's very helpful to come up. Sometimes we feel lonely here, We know you guys, there's plenty of you watching.
Well, you know what we were going to say is somebody on YouTube said that she
changed
her diet, went on hormones, and she
went carnivore. Yeah. So she's changed her whole life, and she bought a weighted vest too. So anyway, she's made all these changes and stuff in her life, and it's fantastic to hear that. So please share that, because it's not only motivating and helpful for us. We feel great, but there's all these people that are watching and they're lurking in the background and they're stalking us,
looking at comments.
and they're looking at comments. And a lot of times that will help them. You don't realize how powerful testimonies are. Positive ones like that are amazing for other people to hear. So yeah, please share your stories if you got them.
Didn't she say something like she just feels amazing? Like,
it was just very thankful. So the whole crux of it though is you helped me. And I don't know who this person was. She popped out of the blue. I don't remember ever having a comment for this from this sweet person, but all of a sudden she popped out of the blue and said all that. And I was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord.
Yes.
That's so fantastic.
Yes.
You did that. And thank you for sharing. But she was saying, if you reach one person, during doing a video and you reach thousands, but if it just helps one, that's fantastic. And I agree 100%. 100%. Anyway,
that's why we do it.
Yes. Why we're here. So did you have anything else?
No. Okay,
guys. Well, as always, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. We love you all
so much.
God bless you. We'll see you next time. And don't forget, food matters.
Bye.
Bye guys.